You know, we're back on this hand trap complaints. Are you guys kidding me? Like, Max T has already been gone, and we've gone through our first event of the format, and now all I constantly hear about is, oh my god, hand traps are an issue. Can we just get over this already? Ash Blossom's not an issue. Your opponent has to actually draw it to engage with you. Ash Blossom, Ogre are, well, they're really the big ones I can think of. Droll and Lockbird and Effect Veiler are kind of just in the back seat. Droll's only really seeing play right now in Trickstars, and I would rather have it stay in Trickstars than the rest of the meta. But hand traps are an issue now? Like, I think y'all just fucking salty because fucking your pendulum calls are getting negated by Ash Blossoms, and you're just like, that's unfair, I can't play the game. You know, hand traps are this necessary evil. I don't know why I even have to make a video and explain, like, Ash Blossom's forehead is okay. Once it gets a reprint and, you know, it's still like $40, you'll still complain. Tends to be one of the things that this game tends to do. It's always the same group of people bitching, whether or not it's just they lose to hand traps or they're just constantly complaining that hand traps are a broken mechanic for the game. You know, we didn't complain about hand traps back in the day when it was, what, fucking DD Crow and Gores. Now, Gores was a phenomenal hand trap. Whew. So, moral of the story, the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is constantly evolving. Hell, I wouldn't be shocked 4 years down the road if Ash Blossom's forehead's power creeped out to something more spectacular. I don't know. The point is, people tend to look at the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And not expect things to change. You know, there's been a time where Solemn Judgment was the most powerful card in the game. And now Solemn Judgment's kind of just a little speck on the radar. You're just kind of like, do I play it? You know, honestly, Monster Reborn kind of almost feels the same way now. Like, y'all think Monster Reborn's sacky. It just depends on the deck that it's in, and it's really weird. I mean, Monster Reborn obviously is something that you shouldn't be playing in Pendulum Magician. I don't know why you would be, because you know everything goes to the extra deck. But at the end of the day, these card choices, these card interactions, you know, some of them being former shelves of themselves, some of them being much better than they actually were back in the day, you know, woohoo, you know, power creep evolution and things like that. Now, hand traps, I'm kind of glad that we have this. Ever since the game steadily changed from the I draw 6 rule going first, hand traps have seemed like they've been a little bit more fair in terms of just sheer advantage, because more so now or less than ever, the going first mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, the whole I gotta decide if my deck is going first or second modes have been really big these last, I want to say since Dragon Ruler format, honestly. A little bit of the mentalities were back in the day about gearing your deck to go first or second, based on card choices. I mean, we really didn't have a lot of stuff to do that. We just kind of built our strategies and went. But now, with hand traps existing, if you're gearing your deck to go first and you happen to kind of draw one of those, I don't know, 3 to 6 to, I think 9 is almost too much. If you draw one of those 6 and you've opted to go first, well, it inherently hurts your strategy, because now you're on technically 4 cards to make your hand, you know, live. And I think a lot of people, if you've played competitively over the last 3 months and you kind of open up only 4 cards and your opponent has a stop to your hand, you know, technically most combos take 2 cards to even start anymore. And if you trigger off your combo and you lean with it and you rock with it and you roll with it, and your combo stopped, well, technically you dedicated 2 things to that combo and your opponent hand trapped it. Congratulations, you have 2 cards left in your hand to work with, including that hand trap. So you're going to stop your opponent on the next turn. But now your opponent has a resource. And giving your opponent a resource going next turn, not so good. So I don't know. It's interesting, this whole hand trap debate. It comes up every time, and I almost feel like it's just the uneducated complaining about, like, just, oh, they're fucking bullshit, man. Ooh, food.
Excuse me, just a second.
Okay. Food time. All right, can I get a number 4, please? Medium size of Coke, no ice. Add onion on it. And chili cheese fries instead of the regular fries. And that'll be it. Yahoo!
And you said chili cheese fries instead of medium fries?
Yes. And that'll be it.
Why you got total 1026?
You know, with hand traps being around, I understand you can't play tier 4 and get away with it. I understand that. A lot of the decks are a lot more, quote-unquote, fragile than they used to be with stuff going around. You know, you got to resolve that pot of desires, which is an inherent neg 9, right, guys? Like, memes. They're the cornerstone of our community. From MST negates right to pot of desires is an inherent neg 9. Like, it's actually a +1, but, you know, trying to argue that with a memester who's probably terrible at this game is a completely different thing. Point is, hand traps, they've become a necessary evil, whether or not you want to admit that they're good for the game or not. You're still going to continue to play this game. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's an addiction that you can't really get rid of. Oh, trust me. Many of us have tried to quit and take breaks from this game, you know. Even if you're not playing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're still reading about the YCS keeping yourself educated, you're still keeping yourself educated. Like, you're still dwelling, you're still gathering information, you're still secretly formulating some sort of strategy. You know, if you didn't sell everything you own, you're like, oh, I'll keep this. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're still involved in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And no matter how bad these hand traps are that you tend to claim and hate, and how much they make the game unenjoyable for you, once again, you still continuously probably go to locals. Or you're one of those people that always comment on the videos and you're like, well, you know, my closest locals is 2 hours away. You know, I really salute those people. There's definitely something driving keeping them in the game, whether or not it's dueling luck or it's they have that one friend, you know, that stays with them to play with them. But moralistically, there are a lot of things going on in these games that tend to kind of keep you together in it, and that's what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess interesting and in its own way. So I don't know, definitely hand traps are one of those things that, I don't know, I think hand traps are still inherently good for this game, but it's the amount of fucking people bitching about them. Like, I'm fucking sorry, man, that your fucking shit got ogred. I'm sorry that pot of desires that you needed to draw into and out got ash blossomed. Like, get the fuck over it. Jesus Christ, Yu-Gi-Oh! Go do what every other Yu-Gi-Oh! Player does that annoys me and walks up to me and tells me a great story about how if your opponent didn't have X card that you would have beat them. You know, God, that's the most annoying thing ever. I don't mind, because, like, strangers will come up to you and be like, hey, man, I lost. And I'm like, that's cool. He's like, my opponent had this and this and this. And I'm just like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, well, because you look like you wanted to know. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Like, why though? Why do we do these things? Why do they tend to fucking annoy us? Ash Blossom exists. So does Ghost Ogre. Soon to be whatever the fuck Yu-Gi-Oh's name is going to be. Actually, I hope Yu-Gi-Oh has... I actually hope that's her name. That'd be really fucking nice. You know, then we can finally creep out fucking DD Crow. Put that guy to rest. Crow and fucking Karibo, like, they're the two oldest hand traps that have existed in this game. Karibo, more so than DD Crow, but, you know, still gotta give fucking Crow props, man. He's been here for 100 years. And ain't nobody complaining about Crow. You know, you never hear anybody go, man, fuck DD Crow. Like, I didn't fucking want to lose to him, but like, it's more like, oh, you're still playing Crow, man? Like, why though? Crow gets honorable VP status, and fucking the rest of the community's like, fuck you, Ash Blossom. Yep. This is why reprints are important to the game, so the secondary player base doesn't say stupid shit. But still gonna complain. They're still gonna do what they want. Ash Blossom could be a $5 card, and people are still gonna be like, I still can't afford it. I'm just gonna be like, Nani? Like, I don't hear people complaining about Effect Veiler anymore. The only thing I hear about Effect Veiler is, you're playing that? So, alright, I'm done rambling on about people rambling on about hand traps. I needed to make this discussion to make myself feel better.